All right, let's get right into it. We're all interacting with different kinds of AI pretty much every day, but here's the thing, they don't all think in the same way. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the three core personalities of AI, the basic designs that control exactly how they work. So, have you ever wondered why an AI like ChatGPT can whip up a poem for you, but another AI is built just to figure out if a review is positive or negative? Well, it's not magic. It all comes down to their fundamental architecture. You can think of it like they have their own distinct personalities. So, let's meet our first character in the lineup. We'll call this one the creative writer. Now, in the tech world, this personality is known as a decoder-only model, and its whole deal is pure, unadulterated generation. At its heart, a decoder-only model is basically a prediction machine. It works by looking at a string of words, like, say, the quick brown fox jumps over the... and its entire job is to predict the most likely next word, lazy. It builds whole paragraphs, even essays, just like that, one word at a time, based only on the words that came right before it. You know, there is a technical name for this process. Autoregressive. It sounds super complicated, I know, but all it really means is predicting the future based on the past. Every single new word is generated based on the sequence of words it just saw. It's kind of like a one-way street of creation. And that makes its main job pretty clear, just generating text. Anytime you're asking an AI to write you an essay, help you draft an email, or just have a chat, you're almost definitely talking to a decoder-only model. And the most famous example of this, of course, is GPT. That's the engine driving so many of the chatbots we use today. Okay, so for our first personality as a writer, our second one is kind of the opposite. Let's call this one the expert analyst. This is the encoder-only model, and while the decoder is all about creating, the encoder's one and only job is to understand. And here's where things get really different. Instead of just trying to predict the next word, an encoder model reads the entire sentence, the whole paragraph, all at once, forwards and backwards, to get the full picture. It won't figure out what a single word means until it knows how that word connects to everything else around it. This special ability is called bidirectional representation. Bidirectional just means two directions. So unlike our writer, the decoder, which only looks backward, the encoder looks both ways down the street. This is its superpower. It's how it can pick up on tricky things like nuance, sarcasm, and really complex sentences. Because it has this deep level of comprehension, it's perfect for analysis. It can do sentiment analysis, to tell if a product review is happy or angry, or it can classify an article's topic. The classic example of this type of analytical powerhouse is Google's famous BERT model. So, what do you think happens when you take the creative skills of the writer and combine them with the deep understanding of the analyst? Well, you get our third personality, the master translator. This is the encoder-decoder model, and it's a hybrid that truly gets the best of both worlds. The absolute best way to think about this one is to picture a human translator. A good translator doesn't just swap out words one for one, right? No way. First, they have to read and fully understand the meaning and feeling of the original sentence. It's only after they have that complete understanding that they can start building a totally new sentence in the other language. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's a two-step dance. First, the encoder half, our analyst, reads the entire input to build a deep contextual understanding. Then it hands that complete thought over to the decoder half, our writer, which then generates a brand new output from scratch based on that understanding. This whole process makes these models absolute masters of transformation. They excel at turning one thing into a completely different thing, like turning a super long article into a short, punchy summary, or, translating Spanish into English. A really well-known example here is T5, the text-to-text transfer transformer, which was built for exactly these kinds of jobs. So, now that we've met our three distinct AI personalities, it really all comes down to one thing: picking the right player for your team depending on what you need to get done. So let's make a quick cheat sheet to lock this all in. If your main goal is pure generation, creating something new, you need the creative writer, like GPT. If you need deep understanding to analyze what's already there, you bring in the expert analyst, like BERT. And finally, if you need to transform something from one form to another, you use the hybrid master translator, like T5. Simple as that.
When you boil it all down, your choice of AI all comes back to your main goal. It depends completely on which of these three things you need to do: generate new information, understand existing information, or transform it into something else.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating final thought. We've built these incredibly specialized AI minds, the writer, the analyst, and the translator. The huge question for what comes next is, what amazing new things become possible when these distinct personalities all start working together on even bigger, more complex problems? The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing to think about. Thanks for joining me.